Welcome to my channel, Dean's Mobility Training, Posture to Presence. Today, I'm with my client and a friend, Andy. We've been working together for roughly over 2 years.
Yeah, definitely over 2, almost 3, I think.
Yeah, it's almost 3 years. Andy is an actor, and he does like to work on his body to improve mechanics, function, posture, and that's how we got connected. You had a functional scoliosis, so it's resulting in your back pain and all that
That's
stuff.
right. And it had been with me for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I'd tried various things, and a reference from my daughter.
Yep, and she's the one I did the last video, so
Yes,
you know what I'm talking about.
it's in the family.
Yeah.
And I think it's because with the back problems and what have you that I have, I've come to understand them in mechanical terms, and not so much as in something that needs to be surgically fixed or altered.
Correct.
Or whatever. And I think that as that happened, and realizing at the same time, it's not just a physical thing, it's also a mental thing, is this whole question of alignment and what have you. And that so Anna said, come check out this guy. He's awesome. And I remembered you from Good Life.
Yes. Yeah.
Back in the day.
Back in the day, yeah.
Yeah. I did. And it adds a whole new dimension, I think, both in terms of the therapy itself and how that helps me achieve my objectives, as well as sort of the way you think about it.
And the learning
instead of the mindset. Jim, I get that.
Yeah. So
beginning with grounded, and grounding is a good place to start.
Grounding is a great place to start. So Andy's another one of my clients who really embodies the philosophy, and I believe that also helps you when you are acting and standing and all that stuff too.
Yeah.
So what's your experience been with grounding, engaging, and then just being mindfully aware of the breathing? How does that simplify and enhance your life?
Well, I mean, as someone who quite late in life decided to act, to create a performance, it is like a way to do that. I mean, you can't without being grounded, without thinking through what you're planning to do, right, and execute it in a credible fashion. You're not performing, right? It's no good.
Beautifully said.
So
that's what life is. It's a performance.
Well, that's that's where I was going. Yes, exactly. And I think that's where it's. I think in part I came because I was starting to act, and at my age, the physicality of acting can be quite a strain.
Yes.
And so I thought I'd better come and start trying to do some stuff, and it has helped in that way. But it's also helped. And when they teach you very similar things in good acting classes, right?
Oh, really?
And Alexander and stuff is that the grounding is the key. When you're on the stage, there's a saying about own the stage, right?
Yes.
You're part of it.
Yes.
You don't upstage other people, but just own your part of it. And and a lot of that's physically. Your feet are on the floor. You've got all this stuff behind you, and then you've got all this stuff in front of you, right? And being aware of all of that and your position in that is what gives you the basis of the next step, which you can't do unless you're aware you're breathing, right? Because it's the breathing which is the
engagement part.
It sets the path for the rest, right? It starts
because it grounds you. That's a stability. The way I look at after the grounding piece, engagement, when you exhale and engage your core. Now that's when I have created that inner stability, and my rest of my body is like, okay, cool. Now we are ready to move. Initially, GEM, I used to say move.
Yes.
Ground, engage, and move. Which is not as far away from what I try to teach, but I had to make it more obvious that breathing in that grounded and engaged state is something that you will have to be mindful of, because these are the patterns you're trying to override.
No. If you're not mindful of what you're doing, your ability to embody whatever is weakened.
Absolutely.
Very, very much so. Yeah. And you're much more easily distracted.
Yes, and that's how I stumbled across that title, posture to presence, for me too. Because as I, within my experience, kept applying GEM, working on my posture, my function, I felt working on clients kept getting easier. If someone would ask, how many people you've stretched today? I'm like, I've stretched 8 people. Like, 8 people, aren't you tired?
Yeah.
Like, actually, I'm not. It's funny that at this stage now, as a 43-year-old male who had issues, body pain in his 20s. And now when I'm working with people, I feel so much control within my body. And I feel so much presence within my body. And it made me realize one day, more time I'm spending in the body, less time I'm spending up here. It's in the penthouse. I was speaking earlier. So once you step out of the penthouse and you go in the basement to address the foundation. And to me, that became the foundation, which brings you back to the present moment, because when you're in your body, you are present and you focused on what you are about to do, as opposed to you consistently in your mind, and now you are fussing over something that may have happened or might happen.
Well, it's in the moment.
In the moment.
In the moment. That's what makes theater interesting, and more interesting than movies and what have you, is what you are watching is happening right in front of you at that moment, right?
Every component of it.
Every component. And so what I people ask me, did I like the play? I don't know, but I love the actors. Because it's that embodiment of that moment. Whatever the script says, right? That is what's interesting.
Yeah, and that's fascinating. Another question I wanted to ask you too, which is, I mean, everyone has, some level of pain and discomfort in their bodies, and because pain is a communication, I say pain is not a problem. It points to one thing. It certainly tells where exactly you need to go. And to simplify things, I realized that no matter what kind of physical discomfort I would experience, I would start applying the gym and get back in my posture, and I would notice subtle changes in terms of how that pain signal would go down. And whether it was an ankle pain, I've had issues with the ankle, with my shoulder, with my hips, with my back, with my SI joint. And as I got more grounded in that approach, as I got more fundamentally engraved in the execution of all of it, I realized that when there was pain present and I would apply this, it would make the pain go down. And at the very least, it would give me a sense of relief, sense of confidence that, you know what? I actually got this. I'm in control. And then I would get some kind of guidance from my body. I would start stretching something intuitively, or, okay, when I go home, I'm going to work on this area. That would help me. Did you have any kind of experience? Something.
No, I think that's right, in the sense that you get feedback. So I'm, as I say, a bit older, and in sort of my hierarchy, I'm in my early 70s. So in my hierarchy, I'm at that stage where my body is deteriorating. I mean, it is, and at some point I will die.
That's a biological.
It's a biological thing. Yeah. So in that context, what I would say is it helps me to manage the pain, and that is often a release. Like, it's less. I feel it less, but it's also the knowledge from the rest of the signals that I'm bigger than this. Like, that this is okay. Yes, that's there maybe, but the rest of me is sort of getting it, holding it together.
Yeah, and that's a really good thought. So does that at that point defy your initial statement about your body's deteriorating? Because in that instance, in that moment, the old age was not a problem anymore now, was it?
No, that's true. I guess it also is having the expectations, that realistic expectations, right?
Yes.
I think everybody can have a realistic expectation of health.
Yes.
Right. What that is will vary in many ways.
But the sad part about realistic expectations, the realism of that expectation would depend on what is normal around us. And what's normal around us, it's very dysfunctional posture, it's dysfunctional lifestyle, and it's dysfunctional movement pattern, which solidifies a lot of times, more often than less, the natural deterioration, which is cellular damage. So certain cells die, some cells are rebirthing, and any of it, and that balance keeps shifting in the direction of death. But we also need to acknowledge that the normality of our existence is very unnatural. We are not living in a way that our body is meant to on every level. So we can't really say there has to be realistic expectation. Although, hypothetically, if you were to sort of embark upon a philosophy of posture, let's just say for that instance, when you actually have a discomfort or something, you feel the management of pain, but that discomfort kind of like, okay, you know what? It's still there. I can still feel it. But at the same time, I feel a bit more in control. I can manage this. So what if that state was permanent? Well, what if that state was actually present all the time, because the only stimuli, the variable you had at that point was you got yourself back into your posture. So, in a theoretical way of looking at it, we can safely say, if posture is present 24/7, I don't think it's a far-fetched possibility. We can train our bodies to be anything, and they're always listening. The overall predicaments that we encounter, we would have a better sense of control. We would have a better sense of management of all those things, because one thing they will leave us with is still we have control over how we are conducting and moving. So we can partake with life. With control. So if I can partake with life with control, whatever the label medically I'm getting, it kind of becomes a little bit, irrelevant at the same point. So that's a mentality over the years. I've been practicing this for the last 14 years now, in which now I feel I don't have to think about my alignment. It just stays that way. But it took me some time in application, and didn't mean to interrupt your thought, but that was a really nice articulation of things which you were explaining. This is, I feel that way, that I'm more in control, but at the same time, at the base of it, the belief system is I am deteriorating. So if we were to sort of not pay attention to that factual thing and just emphasize a lot more on what's the variable that I can bring in the picture, which I don't see around me as often. Because that's how we forget. Because everyone around us is doing the same dysfunctional mental, physical, emotional game.
Well, I think, I hear what you say. For me, realizable was probably a better choice of word than realistic. In the sense that I think what matters for me is that these are things I can do that I clearly make me feel better.
Yes.
In a mental and physical sense.
Yes.
And although I may still, it's never perfection. But
perfection is overrated.
It's and unachievable. Well, Buddha accepted. I wasn't there. I don't know. But at least it's a human being achieving it as opposed to believing in something else. But I think, and to some extent, this way of thinking, I associate more with different parts of Asia than I do in North America, where it's take this pill. And you'll be better, right? That kind of very different sort of approach to life. And I very much, to me, what matters more than anything else is this is my life. I'm responsible for it. I'm doing it. I'm living it every moment. And being able to be, the struggle for me is to be ready, be in it right now, like in every minute, right? Because my mind wanders. Everybody does. And it's become, along with our nature, it's become so prevalent, and people are constantly distracted. It's unfortunately
overstimulated. Absolutely.
Way overstimulated, and it triggers some harmful things for people. So,
that's
and there's so much to be stimulated when you just pay attention to your body. I don't understand why people want to. It's like when I go out in nature. It's like video. I've heard these comparisons. People say to me, gee, this is like VR, virtual reality.
Yeah.
No, it is reality, brother.
It's not virtual. It's not reality. Virtual.
You put your finger, you go over there, and you fall off that rock and into the water.
It's not a fictitious.
Life's
if you get off that ledge, life is worth living, and it's worth living in the present moment.
Every moment.
As you said earlier, which kind of piggybacks on the great conversation we had during the session earlier today too. It's as a child, when a child is growing, it's looking up to the adults around. The first step is I want to be able to stand. The next step is I want to be able to walk. Okay, the next step is want to be able to run, jump, things that a child has seen the adults doing around. Now, by the time a child gets to 2 or 3, I mean, he or she, they're moving better than most adults around them.
So
there's no more physical exploration unless you want to be an athlete. But being alive on this planet, the amount of decisions a mind has to make, the unnatural way of living, nutrition is compromised. Every single thing is compromised. I think an average person's body is under more load, or as much load as an athlete does. At least in the case of athletes, they get better care. They work on their bodies. They work on movement. They work on nourishment because they are playing. The performance depends on all those things. But an average person, a stay-at-home mom, a dad who is working 9-to-5 job or traveling 2 weeks in a month. So those people, they are so disconnected overall from the present moment and from their own bodies in the pursuit of building a life, a secure life for their loved ones. This gem offers such a beautiful, integrative philosophy, which requires nothing more. I mean, it doesn't even require you to come and get stretched, which, by the way, if you're in Toronto, you should. You feel great.
This is true. I totally agree with that. And I think that we need to find an attitude of being responsible for ourselves.
Beautifully
I know
said.
how tough it is for people, particularly, in terms of making money to survive and dealing with mental health issues and all the stuff that isn't being supported as well as it should.
Mm-hmm.
And there's struggles, but that's not a reason for me
No,
or
absolutely. Yeah,
other
yeah.
people to
Yes,
therefore not
yes.
pay attention to what they're doing themselves and
Mm-hmm.
to themselves, and finding that space. People do. It is notable. I spent a lot of my time working with people who worked in factories in the time when they work on a they had to stand and do something in front of a line constantly all day long, and what that did to them, and what that did to their way of thinking, and what have you. I think that a lot of that is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's more it's a different kind of challenge.
It's a different challenge. It's a modern world.
Yeah, it's a lot of it's technology driven.
Mm-hmm.
And the ability of technology to get inside our heads, and therefore for us to sort of be disciplined by the technology. The advantage, though, is at the same time is the freedom that it gives. You're not in front of you may be psychologically in a kind of a conveyor belt, but you're not in front of an actual conveyor belt.
Yeah, no,
and
absolutely.
So you have the ability to. I mean, you can work at different levels. You can work from different places.
For which too, you have to make choices.
Yes.
We have moved from industrial age to a modern IT age, and things are not going to shift. You will be on technology. You just have to learn how to be on technology with a better posture. You will be on cell phones. You are going to look at them. That thing to learn is how to look at them so your body isn't suffering in the process. So all of those things are going to basically happen. And my goal is to teach everyone through this channel and through the work that I do in person, virtual, is to connect to that fundamental posture that helps you connect to your body on a level that makes engagement with life a little bit more easy on the body and your psyche, and gets you more present. If you have anything that you are encountering within your body, okay, how GEM can help you, leave a comment and I will make a video on it just to explain your back pain. Perhaps I can't diagnose it online, but this is what might be able to help you. So at the end of the day, application of the philosophy, I'll be uploading a video on GEM if I already haven't. Do listen to it. Is a profound thing. I see people in my modest practice reap the benefits of it and explore it and get better at applying it, and it does make a difference. It's made a difference in my life. It's made a difference in the lives of people that I work with. Thank you so much, Andy. I really appreciate you taking this time.
Oh, my pleasure.
And again, if you like my content, please do subscribe and share. Everyone knows someone who wants to move better, who wants to have a good posture. And remember, if you have any challenges physical that you are experiencing, comment. I would love to offer some kind of guidance and help. If you're in Toronto, you can find me on Instagram, Dean's Mobility Training, or you can go on www.deansmobilitytraining.com and send an application, and we can book your in-person stretch or a virtual coaching, whatever floats your boat. But thank you so much for listening, and have a great day.